The Wii was a console with an aesthetic heavily inspired by CRT televisions. In fact, the menu itself is just a huge collection of them lined up side by side, reminiscent of the shelves filled with TVs in old electronics stores. With the Wii though, each of these TVs signified something different. This is what we call a Wii channel. Every single one of them housed a quote-unquote unique experience, and everyone remembers at least a few of them. But just how many were there in total? Now I know the answer to that question, but why the hell would I tell you? I don't even know you. Plus, you kept staring at my lips while I was in the TV earlier. Weirdo. Wii channels were a huge reason the console is so fondly remembered today. There's plenty of people I know that don't even really play video games that'll occasionally boot up their dusty old Wii just to make a couple new Miis on the Mii channel, or maybe take a look at all the old pictures they had absolutely ruined as an 8-year-old on the photo channel. And while just about every channel on the Wii is now discontinued or shut down, there is still a reason to turn on the console every once in a while for old time's sake, even if you ignore all of the great games for it. The good news for us is that thanks to the efforts of many devoted fans, most of these discontinued channels have had their functionality fully or partially restored thanks to services like WiiLink, Reconnect24, and Wiimfi, allowing us to take a deeper look into what we may have missed all those years ago. As you may have guessed, today I want to take a look back at every single one of these channels. Some you most definitely have already heard of, and some maybe not. For the more well-known channels, I'll do my best to include a somewhat obscure piece of trivia about them that you may not know, and for the channels that were revived by fans, I'll show this symbol when I start talking about them, since aspects of the channel could have been different in their original iterations. Without further ado, let's begin at the most logical starting point, the channels that come pre-installed with the Wii. Our first stop, smack dab in the top left corner of the Wii menu. The disc channel. It played discs. I know, this is pretty groundbreaking stuff, so try not to piss yourself. Too late. But yeah, this channel could play any compatible Wii discs that you inserted into the system. Earlier models of the Wii that still had backward compatibility could also read GameCube discs, and the channel would show both disc types when nothing was inserted. Inside the files from this channel, there is an unused DVD image that implies that the Wii at one point had DVD playback support planned. Re-enabling this image will show it on the left side of the channel, cut slightly off the screen. I like to think that the other discs are pushing it away because it's gray, ugly, and charged a licensing fee just to exist on the console, which is likely why it was scrapped in the first place. Fun fact about Wii discs though, in addition to the game contents, every single one of them also contained the latest Wii system update at the time of their manufacturing. Since internet connections were significantly slower back then, on top of the fact that many Wii users simply weren't even connected to the internet in the first place, this was Nintendo's solution that allowed them to keep every console updated no matter the circumstance. As long as the user was buying new games, they were keeping their console up to date. The Mii channel is probably the most popular channel in the history of the Wii. Your mom knows about it, your grandma knows about it, your dog knows about it, heck, even your dog's grandma probably knew about it. This channel allowed you to create and edit Miis, obviously. Aside from creating your family members or being an absolute comedian and making a custom Mii, the main draw of Miis as a whole was being able to use them in games. Many games featured support for Miis as playable characters, most predominantly in the Wii Prefix series of games. Aside from being playable, they could also appear as NPCs in many games like Mario Kart Wii, in which they appeared alongside the track or driving the cars in Coconut Mall, for example. Miis can be imported and exported from the Mii channel to other Nintendo consoles, including other Wiis, by transferring the Mii's data into the Wii Remote. Each remote can store the data of up to 10 Miis. In fact, it's possible to transfer a Mii from this channel on a Wii all the way up to the Switch if you really wanted to, though it isn't possible to do the same in reverse. The main hub of the Mii channel is known as the Mii Plaza, which is an empty void in which all your Miis just roam around in perpetuity. And yes, you should feel bad for them. Where are they supposed to shit You can send any Miis you create out of the plaza to a place called the Parade, where there's just a crowd of Miis that walk, or run, in an infinite loop, and if the Mii that you sent is set to mingle, then it can appear on other Wii consoles in their parade. As you may have guessed, this means that some of the Miis in your parade are created by other users, and you can choose to create a copy of them and send that copy back to your plaza. The Mii channel has reappeared fundamentally in some way, shape, or form on every Nintendo console since the Wii, and even in 5 games on the DS such as Personal Trainer Walking. The channel also gets a cameo in WarioWare Gold on the 3DS. It's just such a shame that for the Switch they decided to shove the Mii Maker deep into the system settings and shut off the music, as if they weren't torturing those poor people enough. The Photo channel was a place to view and edit photos stored on your Wii. This channel is our first piece of evidence of Nintendo's push to make the Wii more than just a video game console, leaning further into what some may call a lifestyle console. Now, it's clear in hindsight that this was not something that people were really interested in for the long run, but it took Nintendo 2 full console generations to figure that out. The novelty and charm is still there, and I appreciate the effort. You tried. Photos could be accessed from an SD card, or you could also look at any photo that ever appeared on the Wii message board. Any photos that were modified in this channel could be sent to the message board as a way of permanently saving them, since for some reason the channel only allowed you to edit one photo at a time and deleted all edits when switching to modify a different photo or when the channel was closed. Apparently the Wii just could not handle anything more than that. Today we're going to be attempting to edit 2 images at once on the Photo channel. Now I've heard this is pretty risky, but... Did that just explode into a perfectly molded copper pipe?
I mean, I'm always looking to sell copper, so if you aren't going to take it.
So how do you edit photos, you may ask? Well, obviously not with the edit button, that doesn't even exist. Of course, you press the fun button, and this gives you 3 options: mood, doodle, and puzzle. Mood just allows you to apply a few select filters to the image. You could have normal Mario, or, and I must provide a warning here, this is some pretty dark humor, evil Mario. Doodle allows you to draw all over the image with either solid colors or a selection of stamps, so you can get as wacky or as reserved as you want. Like I said before, after editing a photo with either mood or draw, you can save it by sending it to the Wii message board for every other user of the console to see. The final feature of the fun section is puzzle, which allows you to create a shuffled grid of your image in varying sizes that you then rearrange back to the original. The channel tracks the best times for each image and number of pieces, so you can compete with your family members on how fast you can put the picture of Grandma's urn back together. In addition to the fun section, you also have the option to play a slideshow of your photos with a selection of themes and music. Surprisingly, the channel also supported custom music from the SD card, which in a roundabout way also made the Wii a console capable of playing all those songs you illegally downloaded from LimeWire. In late 2007, the 1.1 update was released for the Photo channel, which added a small list of features, with the main one being the ability to set any of your photos as the channel icon in the Wii menu. I just love this idea. Grandma's urn goes great next to Super Mario RPG. We all know the Wii Shop channel. Its music, much like the Mii channels, has been worn out and beaten like a dead horse. Just like clockwork, you can expect to hear this song at the start of generic Nintendo YouTube video number 4,000,006. The Nintendo Switch 2 is coming, according to leaker PissBaby7 on Twitter. He claims the console will run at 240 frames per second and output 8K resolution, with a launch lineup containing Super Mario Odyssey 3, subtitled What? Purple, Chibi Robo vs. Kirby, and the channel allowed users to purchase and download software. This could be done with Wii Points, a virtual currency that converted as a 100-to-1 ratio, at least in the US. So 100 Wii Points would be $1 US. The channel was divided into 3 categories, those being WiiWare, Virtual Console, and Channels. The WiiWare section contained games and applications that were developed specifically for the Wii, and usually did not have physical releases or appear on on other consoles. Some WiiWare games even had DLC, like Final Fantasy IV: The After Years. But primarily, WiiWare was meant to be a place of opportunity for developers with smaller budgets that allowed them to publish their game much more easily than by traditional means. The development kit for WiiWare games only costs around $2,000 US, so while that is definitely a commitment, your game would likely benefit greatly from making this investment. Well, as long as it wasn't shit. The Virtual Console section allowed you to purchase emulated versions of games all the way up to the N64, and while the emulation quality wasn't always the greatest, 11 consoles were represented on the service by the end of its life, but 2 of them were exclusive to certain regions, those being the Commodore 64 and MSX. In North America, the service featured 427 total games by the end of its lifespan. Finally, the Channels section contained channels.
Whoa, slow the f down, man. What?
Any channel that wasn't already installed by default on the Wii or exclusive via other means could be found here, and obviously I'll be getting to these later. Wii users from Europe may remember the Connection Ambassador promotion, which was a program launched as an effort to get more users connected to the internet, and by proxy onto the Wii Shop channel to purchase products. This program awarded users with 500 Wii points every single time they got another user connected to the internet. This was done by exchanging Wii numbers on each console on the Wii Shop channel, and once that process was completed, both parties would receive a 500 Wii point reward. The crazy thing about this promotion though was that once a user had gotten 20 other people connected to the internet, not only would they have a crisp 10,000 Wii points to their name, but they would also be given the ability to download every single NES, SNES, and N64 game for free. No strings attached. It boggles my mind that Nintendo actually did this. Getting people online was clearly very important to them. This program eventually came to New Zealand and Australia, but never made it anywhere else before its discontinuation in November of 2012. Speaking of discontinuations, every story must have an end. The Wii Shop channel was shut down on January 30th, 2019. Now, you can only download a select few channels or re-download software you've already purchased. The Forecast channel allowed users to view weather conditions and forecasts for their current area, as well as browse a rotating 3D globe to view the weather in other locations around the world. Unfortunately, Nintendo did not have the budget to fund a trip to space for Miyamoto to take a picture of the Earth, so they credited NASA for the image. This channel used Wii Connect 24 to function, which was a service that allowed the Wii to remain connected to the internet in standby mode, indicated by an orange light when the console was shut off instead of a red one. You know what else Wii Connect 24 did? Made earlier models of the Wii run extremely hot in standby mode, which could lead to some pretty bad things, like frying SD cards. Can you tell that I'm speaking from experience yet?
I could do it if I really wanted to.
On the Wii menu, the Forecast channel's icon would display the current weather conditions in your area. For some reason, Japan had their own unique set of less realistic looking icons for the weather, with their version of the channel also including pollen count and laundry index as additional data points. In case you didn't know, the laundry index is a measure of how fit the weather is for hanging clothes outside to dry. For example, the laundry index here would be 0. Some games actually communicated with the Forecast channel and changed the in-game weather conditions based on the location set inside of the channel itself. For example, if it was raining in your area, according to the Forecast channel, it would also rain during the game in Madden NFL 07. With the News channel, you could read news articles from around the world. Articles could be arranged by category in a list or on a globe in the same way cities were shown in the Forecast channel. Now, I have no idea why anyone would actively choose to learn about the horrors of the real world while playing their Wii, but the option was there. The cool thing about the globe in this channel is that if there were a ton of articles centralized in one location, they would create a pile that looked like a stack of papers, sometimes reaching comical levels of altitude. This channel also used Wii Connect 24, which allowed recent articles to appear on the Wii menu and channel banner. Even involuntarily, the Wii will let you know that there is in fact suffering in the world. Aside from the globe and normal list of articles, you could also view a slideshow of current article headlines and choose any of them to read that caught your eye. Next, we have the Wii Plus Internet channel, otherwise known as the Get Connected video channel, otherwise known as the Wii See What You Can Do on the Internet channel. Looks like the focus groups may have gotten a little heated with this one.
That name sucks ass! How are people supposed to know what that means?
At least mine isn't a f***ing novel!
Piss!
What?
Oh, sorry, I misread. Thought we were just saying bad words for fun.
This channel literally just played a short video explaining the capabilities and benefits of getting your Wii connected to the internet. If your Wii is already connected to the internet, once the video finishes, you'll be asked to delete the channel, and you'll definitely want to do that. This channel holds the title for the largest Wii channel in history in terms of space on the memory, probably because in addition to the video, which is large by itself, dubs of the video in multiple languages were also included in every single distribution of the channel. The Wii Menu Manual was exclusive to the Wii Mini and the Wii Mode on the Wii U, and it's exactly what it sounds like. If you had an issue navigating your Wii system, this is where you would go. The question is, what if you were so clueless that you couldn't even figure out how to get to the Wii Menu Manual channel? Then you're really screwed.
Works well as a doorstop, I guess.
The Wii U menu channel would take you out of the Wii Mode on your Wii U and return you to the Wii U menu. Please hold your standing ovations until the end, please. Fun fact, if you put this channel onto an original Wii and try to launch it, it would crash the entire system and cause it to reboot. Now that's what I call an Easter egg.
Hey, hold on. You're talking about the channels already?
Yeah? What's wrong with that?
You said you wouldn't start until I was ready. I'm still clipping my toenails.
Whoa! Slow down.
Who the hell are you?
It's me. We've known each other for like 2 years now. I was the one that left that puddle of blood in your kitchen.
Oh, right. My bad, dude. I didn't recognize it because he just looks so ugly today.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I work hard for this look.
You know, it's nice to see you and all, but you really can't be interrupting me like this. Plus, you already talked about the Wii yesterday. What's with the hard-on for it?
My bad, dude. I just really like that console. Especially the menu, with that pointer, the romantic music, the finger that's on the pointer.
Alright, yeah. I get it. You can stop talking now. Nobody wants to know what you did in private with that finger.
First, you call me ugly, then you insult my interests. What kind of friend are you?
I could say the same about you, but you know what? How about you cover a few of these channels for me later? There are quite a few, so I could use the help.
39 to be exact.
God damn it, that was supposed to be a secret!
Well, you know what they say about secrets.
Is your mic muted or something?
Alright, I'm just gonna finish trimming up the dogs. Just let me know when you need me.
Finally moving on from the pre-installed channels, now we'll take a look at the few channels that either came as an optional additional installation on a game disc or as an optional download on the Wii Shop channel. The bottom line with this category is that these channels complement an actual game and don't really make sense to have without it. The Mario Kart channel was available to be installed from inside Mario Kart Wii. The novelty of this channel is that quite a few of its features were accessible without having the game disc inserted into the system, as it just read the local save file to get player info. Because it did that, one cool feature on the channel's banner was that it would only display vehicles that the player had already unlocked. Without the disc, in this channel you could view time trial rankings among friends, your current region, and the entire world, as well as view the current tournament. Doing anything involving playing the actual game from this channel, however, requires the game disc. If you don't have the disc, your options in this channel are pretty limited.
I can't find my copy of Mario Kart Wii anywhere. And it sucks because I haven't been able to get that game off my mind like all day long. I don't know what to do.
The three main features of the Mario Kart channel are Rankings, Ghost Races, and Tournaments. Rankings, of which I've already mentioned, allow you to view how your time trial records stack up against everyone else. From this leaderboard, you can choose to race select ghosts such as ones close to you in time, any of your friends, other Miis on your Wii, or even the world record holder. Ghost Races are exactly what they sound like. This option allows you to download and race random ghosts from users around the world that are somewhat close to your best times. This is a great way to incrementally improve and learn new strategies for time trials. It even tracked your wins and losses, and there's really no way to cheese this either. It's impossible to restart a race in Ghost Mode, and leaving the race by any means before finishing immediately forfeits, leaving you with a big fat L for being a big fat quitter. Finally, tournaments were by far the most unique part of the channel. If you ever played the missions mode in Mario Kart DS, tournaments in Wii were quite similar, putting new spins on existing tracks with additional challenges such as collecting coins or driving through rings. These tournaments even introduced some completely new environments, such as the Galaxy Coliseum, which had the player battling against spiky topmen from Super Mario Galaxy. Players across the world would compete for the best time in each challenge. To my knowledge, winners would receive nothing. I always wanted one of those.
At least I still have my bragging rights.
Hey, check out this new invisible ball I got!
Oh man.
Nowadays, there isn't an official way to play any of these tournaments, which is a large chunk of content for Mario Kart Wii that is literally just inaccessible. Luckily, a mod for the game exists known as Tournament Museum that allows access to every single past tournament. In addition, WiiMfi hosts tournaments on their service as well, restoring the functionality as it would have been back when Nintendo Wi-Fi connection was still operational. The Jam with the Band live channel allowed users to play the music produced by the Jam with the Band DS game on their TV. The DS title was a rhythm game somewhat similar to Guitar Hero, but with over 60 playable instruments and thousands of downloadable songs over Nintendo Wi-Fi connection. There was also a multiplayer feature that allowed up to 8 people to play their own separate instrument within a song. I had personally never heard of this game, likely because it was a Japan and Europe exclusive. It makes sense, we don't need any of that music crap. Us Americans only like cheeseburgers anyway. The channel simply played the DS game's audio on the TV and displayed the player's score after the song finished. If you ask me, this seems like such an insignificant feature to dedicate an entire channel to. It makes me wonder what the criteria was for actually getting your own channel on the Wii, but I guess it's a cool novelty. The title was made by Nintendo, so that's likely how the channel even managed to exist at all, but yeah, there's really not much else to say about this one. Yeah, it just never stops doing that. The Rabbids channel, much like the Mario Kart channel, was an optional installation that came with the game Rabbids Go Home. In this game, there was a feature that allowed you to customize your playable Rabbid in various ways, and the channel gave you the ability to enter your creations into contests administered by Ubisoft. Unfortunately, this channel has yet to be restored by the community, and WiiMfi doesn't seem to give us any luck in restoring the connection.
Maybe the 16th time I do it will be different. Okay, let's try again.
However, there is a trailer for the service on Ubisoft's YouTube channel, and this is actually the only known footage of the Rabbids channel in a functioning state. In terms of the actual features, much like the Check Me Out channel, of which I'll cover in a bit, users could vote on which custom Rabbids they liked best in each contest, and even download other users' creations into their game as well. There was also an entire section of the Rabbids website dedicated to viewing all the Rabbids created and submitted to this channel. Obviously that website is gone now, but we can view a somewhat broken version of it on the Wayback Machine. But by far the craziest thing linked to this channel, more so that website, is the fact that you could order 3D printed replicas of Rabbids you created within the game and submit it to the channel and have them shipped to your house, and they only charge 20 euros for it. This is crazy, especially considering the fact that the service launched in 2010. Other than that, there really isn't much to say. I wish I could tell you more about this channel, but it looks like the internet didn't do its job of preservation with this one. The The Skyward Sword Save Data Update channel, really rolls off the tongue, was the result of Nintendo making a big oopsie with the release of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. This channel updated players' save files to fix a game-breaking bug involving the Song of the Hero quest. The bug was pretty easy to avoid and likely wouldn't be discovered by most players since it involved a very specific sequence of actions, but obviously it was still possible, and online game patches weren't a thing on the Wii. Oddly enough, the banner for this channel uses a jingle from Animal Crossing City Folk, and the pointer while actually inside the channel is also from that game. I guess that's just an indicator of how haphazardly they cobbled this channel together in a panic. I'm honestly surprised it had any sounds or custom graphics.
You're not done? Hurry the hell up! We need this out now!
We're trying, goddammit! Just like the others, the Wii Fit channel could be installed from inside Wii Fit, and while it literally added 0 new features, it allowed some aspects of the game to be accessed while the disc was not inserted. Just like the Mario Kart channel, I really don't understand what the point of these channels were. Like, is it really that big of a deal to get up and swap the disc out of the system?
It's not worth it.
This channel is honestly even worse though, because instead of having a set of substantial additional features like the Mario Kart channel did, this is just the main menu of Wii Fit with a bunch of features removed. The main feature that is available on this channel is the body test, which calculates your center of balance, BMI, and conducts a balance test. Body tests were intended to be done on a regular basis to track your progress, so I guess the intention was that you could conveniently boot up the channel without the disc to conduct a quick body test regularly. In addition to that, the channel also allowed you to check stats and progress over time for each user via the calendar and a graph, as well as change a few settings, but that's about it. Any option that wasn't supported by the channel would simply prompt you to insert the disc, which would launch into the actual game once inserted. The Wii Fit Plus channel was the exact same concept as the original. Since Plus was really just an expanded version of Wii Fit that made its predecessor entirely irrelevant in comparison, the channel is the same way. This used the slightly updated Plus main menu, which now featured the ability to add pets for some reason. The Wii Fit Body Check channel never actually left Japan. In fact, the channel banner doesn't even display properly on non-Japanese consoles. The entire premise of this channel was pretty unique. It was very similar to both of the other Wii Fit channels, allowing you to perform a body test without the game disc inserted, but this one had one weird additional feature. After performing your test, you could choose to send the data to actual doctors who would then review the data and return personalized advice to you on how to stay fit. What kind of health professional would willingly agree to trudge through mounds of data coming from random people on a game system around the country? Probably not a good one.
Yeah, I'm not buying that you're a real doctor. You're at least gonna have to show me a degree or something. Oh, so now all of a sudden we need a degree to be a doctor. You just love moving the goalposts, don't you?
In addition to your Wii Fit data, this channel could also send data gathered from Personal Trainer Walking, the DS game I mentioned earlier that used Mii's. Overall, there really isn't much known about this channel because it was only obtainable via a special SD card that was distributed in Japan, containing an exclusive Wii download ticket to be redeemed on the Wii Shop channel. The Wii was home to a surprisingly large number of streaming services for the time, which is the subject of this next category titled the streaming services.
Don't you think that's a little confusing? Shit, you're right. Ugh.
Because these are all about as interesting as raw toast, not a single one of them is functional anymore, and none of them were actually exclusive to the Wii, I'm going to be brushing over them pretty quickly here. So let's get started. Amazon Instant Video, today known as Amazon Prime Video, used to be known as LoveFilm in Europe, technically a separate channel, until the services merged. BBC iPlayer, this service was only available in the UK. Ew. Crunchyroll. Oddly enough, this channel didn't come to the Wii until well into the Wii U's lifespan in October of 2015, making it the newest Wii channel to date. Hulu Plus, today known as just Hulu. There is absolutely nothing worth noting about this channel. Netflix, there is absolutely nothing worth noting about this channel. WatchEver, this channel was exclusive to Germany and functioned just like any other run-of-the-mill streaming service. It only lasted a little over 3 years before being shut down. Losers. YouTube, kind of a niche service. Most people have likely never even heard of it. Even after it's shut down, you can still watch YouTube on the Wii using a homebrew application known as WiiMC. Now we arrive at our final section, which I am calling downloadable. For the most part, this means that the channels in this category were available to download via the Wii Shop channel in whichever regions they were available within, though there are a few exceptions. But what am I gonna do? Create an exceptions section? That's just disrespectful. Within this section, it's possible that you may know of a channel that you think is quote-unquote missing from the list, and that is likely because it did not fall within my criteria. For a channel to enter this list, I had a very small set of rules. First, if the channel was available on the Wii Shop channel for download, it had to be located in the Channels category. This eliminates Mina no Theater, a video streaming application that was available in the WiiWare section in Japan, sometimes referred to in English as the Everybody's Theater channel, though from my understanding that is an inaccurate translation. Additionally, if a channel did not appear in the Channels section, though it still contained the words channel or program in its official or correctly translated title, then it was still included in this list. Is it possible that I made a mistake and still missed one or more channels within this criteria? Yes, but you can't say I didn't try. The Check Me Out channel, known as the Me Contest channel in Europe because apparently they couldn't handle puns, was a channel dedicated to sharing your Miis with the world. Sort of as an evolution of the Parade in the Me channel, this channel featured the Posting Plaza, in which you could browse Miis uploaded by users around the world. These Miis could be sorted by popularity, or you could just pull a random batch of them with the grab bag option. Obviously, you could also upload your own Miis here, and just like the Me Parade, you could send other users' Miis back to your own Me Plaza. In addition to that, if you just liked a Mii and didn't want to subject it to the unfathomable pain of cloning, you could simply leave a like on it to boost its popularity. But if you have a like button, why isn't there a dislike button?
Man, this guy. Eric. He needs to know how much I hate him.
The other main feature of the Check Me Out channel was the contests. For the duration of this channel's lifespan, Nintendo would host Mii creation contests based on a prompt. For example, Luigi Without His Cap, which took place in December of 2007. Here's all of the other contests that occurred during the channel's lifespan. In each of these contests, submissions would happen in the first week, and in the second week, users would vote on their favorite entries and eventually a winner would be crowned. Luckily, you couldn't just copy a popular Mii and enter it into a contest for easy points, since copied Miis were not permitted as entries. And there actually was somewhat of a benefit to participating in these contests or just uploading your Miis in general. Another feature of the channel was the Mii Artisan Profile, which was a place that tracked stats for every user of the channel, such as how many likes they received and how they ranked in competitions, all contributing to an overall popularity ranking.
Hey man, I'm feeling a little bit hungry. What about you?
I could eat.
I'm lying. I'm not hungry at all. This is just a cool segue that I came up with all on my own. The food channel or delivery channel or that channel was a Japan exclusive channel where you can order delivery to your house through your Wii. The fact that this channel didn't leave Japan should be considered a crime against humanity, and they should be tried for it. The restaurants were organized by category, and each category had its own themed music. Do you see why I'm so salty about missing out on this? You can only use cash when using this channel because I guess restaurant owners are too full of themselves to be paid with Wii points cards. A really cool feature on this channel is the roulette option, which randomly chooses what food you'll be getting when you're being too indecisive. Unlike Russian roulette where you might end up dying, this roulette just might give you diarrhea. You actually can set up the food channel to work in America if you're just that desperate, but I don't think it's worth all the hassle because you can only get Domino's. Yeah, I went there. No one out-pizzas the Hut. On the other hand, our friends across the pond are now able to actually use this app by connecting it to Deliveroo, which is basically Uber Eats with a cooler name.
This just in, we've received word that Deliveroo has made infrastructure changes that render it impossible to order through the service on the extremely popular and widely used Food Channel on the Wii. First, I wake up to the landscaper quote-unquote wrestling with my wife in her separate bedroom, and now this! We just cannot win today, folks. The Digicam Print channel was another Japan exclusive. This collaboration with the camera company Fujifilm allowed users to create physical stationery using the photos on their SD card. Options included standalone photos, photo books, and business cards priced at varying amounts. With the business cards, you could also use a photo of your me, just in case you were trying to be extra professional.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds good. Oh, you mind if I grab your number so we can, get in touch about this later?
Of course, yeah. Give me 1 second. Here is my card.
Great, thanks. Something wrong? Have you lost weight?
After creating and submitting your prints, they would be processed by Fujifilm and mailed to your house. This concept may seem stupid to put on a game console nowadays, but like I said before, Nintendo was still pushing the idea that this console could be used for everything, and not just playing games. The Everybody Votes channel did the impossible and brought democracy to the Wii. Here you could vote in both regional and worldwide 2-choice polls. You were able to register up to 6 total Miis that could each cast their own unique vote. In addition to casting your own vote, you'd also be able to predict which side would receive the majority of the votes. The number of times you actually got this prediction correct would be tracked by the channel, and it also tracked how far a given Mii strayed from the popular opinion with their own votes. Aren't you special? Another feature allowed you to suggest questions to Nintendo that you would like to see in a future poll. Now, this seems like a really bad idea to me, but hopefully most people took it seriously. I just can't imagine what it must have been like to be the person assigned to review all these submissions.
That's the 3rd one this week.
The overall purpose of this channel is unknown. It's possible that they could have been selling this data to advertising companies or something, but that almost sounds like a conspiracy, and I'd rather just assume this channel was made for fun to give more value to the Wii system for any given user. Besides, you'd probably have to agree to share your data if the former was the case. The Internet channel was a version of the Opera browser that allowed you to browse the internet on your Wii. Simple enough. However, this channel has a bit of a weird history. The first version of this channel was known as the trial version, was free to download, and contained a few differences to the version most people know today. Once the final version released, it was also free to download, but somewhere in between those 2 times, something was different. Yes, at one point, they charged money for this channel.
There are children in the room!
The price of the internet channel came out to 500 Wii points or $5 freedom dollars. Once they realized that nobody was paying for a damn internet browser, the free download was restored in September of 2009, and anyone who did pay for the channel would have their Wii points refunded. In terms of the browser itself, most websites no longer function at all on the channel, simply because of how outdated the browser is and the fact that it was limited even upon release, but Google still works. I looked up this cat. The Kirby TV channel was exclusive to Europe, Australia, and New Zealand, and allowed users to watch episodes of the Kirby anime titled Kirby Right Back At Ya for free. Episodes would be available on rotation, with new ones being added every Thursday and Monday. This series later appeared on the Nintendo Anime channel for 3DS, which was also exclusive to those same regions. If you didn't happen to get on the channel and watch an episode while it was available, it wouldn't be watchable on any consecutive rotation. That is, unless you were to obtain a key. Whenever you watch through an episode in its entirety, at the end you would have a random chance to receive a key. Using one of these keys would allow you to choose any episode from a previous week to unlock and view permanently. A bit of a weird design decision if you ask me, but it's nice that people could watch episodes they missed because of an entirely arbitrary restriction. This channel was completely free. Why gate previous episodes in the first place? Is it like a don't eat all the Reese's cups in one sitting type of deal? Aside from that, the channel also featured trailers for a few recent and upcoming Kirby games, so maybe the overall purpose of this channel was just to give more exposure to Kirby as a whole. I don't know if I'm just tainted by how common corporate greed is in society, but I have a really hard time believing that any of these free channels are made solely for the fun of the user. Where the hell are they milking the money out of me?
I knew it.
The Metroid Prime 3 preview channel was a limited time channel that allowed users to watch short trailers and gameplay clips of Metroid Prime 3 Corruption leading up to its release. 2 videos were available on the channel's release in August of 2007, and 10 were available by the end of its lifespan. It was removed from the Wii Shop channel in December of 2007, 4 months after the release of the actual game. Trying to access the channel now just gives a connection error. Not much else to say here. The UI is pretty cool, I guess.
The weird thing about this channel is that while it was used to offer trailers for an upcoming game, there already was a channel almost entirely dedicated to doing just that, but for every Nintendo game. Is it ever going to do that sliding thing?
Oh, sh**.
The Nintendo channel was the place for gaming news. If you didn't have a computer and only cared about being updated on how Mario Sports Mix's development was going. The channel had a wide variety of trailers, commercials, and interviews, but the main attraction was Nintendo Week. The show was hosted by Gary, Allison, and Dark Gary, who Chips is trying to convince me is just Gary with some pubes taped onto his chin, but I think he just doesn't understand the concept of twins. The show had all exclusive interviews, skits, and sketches with developers, and was basically just the Nintendo channel condensed into a weekly show. Also featured on the Nintendo channel was a list of new games. I'm personally really hyped for Wii Auto Erase Disc. Game recommendations was another very necessary feature. You could browse through all the Nintendo games and see which ones people are recommending, as well as saving the ones that made you think, I'd play that for more than 25 minutes. Speaking of which, your total playtime was nestled away in this channel for some reason. I didn't realize that you could see the total playtime of all your games until it was too late. The last thing worth mentioning about the Nintendo channel is the DS game demos. Updated almost every week, users were able to send game demos from their Wii to their DS through the magic of Wi-Fi. Unfortunately, this was one of the many channels that were sent to a farm up north on June 28, 2013 with the discontinuation of Wii Connect 24. The good news, however, is that my mom can't see that my Wii Sports Resort playtime has gone over the 1,000 hour mark since the channel is completely inaccessible now. Please don't tell her about Reconnect 24.
The Photo Channel 1.0 Restore program allowed users to restore their version 1.1 Photo Channel back to version 1.0. This was released in December of 2007 after new Wii consoles began to ship with the 1.1 update pre-installed, making it impossible to return to the older version without this channel. On older Wiis, you could simply delete the update from your data management to restore the older version. However, for some reason, this channel was released exclusively in Japan despite having a full English translation. Even though the channel will work on systems from different regions, it never had the opportunity to do so. Yet another Japan exclusive, the Television Friend channel, otherwise known as the TV no Tomo channel, functioned as a TV guide for upcoming programs, similar to those ancient paper guides or the on-screen schedule you would see if you paid for cable back in the day. To put it simply, it told you what was going to be playing on TV and when. The guide showed the schedule and info for all channels available in the selected prefecture and region for the next week, and there was even a search option. As an additional feature, up to 6 Miis could be registered to this channel, and each one would be given their own stamp across the bottom of the screen. Each Mii could use these to stamp programs they were interested in watching, and if you connected your phone or email to the channel, you could receive a message on your device 30 minutes before the program would start.
What the hell?
If Wii Connect 24 was enabled, you could even see where your Wii friends were leaving stamps, as well as filter the guide to show which programs were stamped the most by other users of the channel. In addition to that, some TV sets supported the option to use the Wii Remote as a remote control for the actual TV, with channel control, volume control, and even power control. This feature was accomplished by utilizing an extremely rarely used Wii feature in which a signal released out of the Wii sensor bar reflected off the wall and was received by the television, which allowed the Wii Remote to communicate with the TV, though none of the TVs I tried to use the feature on seemed to be compatible. Calling all astrology lovers, the Today and Tomorrow channel is right up your alley, unless you live in North America. In that case, you. This Japan and PAL region exclusive channel gave daily fortunes based on your astrological sign. The reason it was called the Today and Tomorrow channel was because you could view your fortune for today, and you could also view your fortune for tomorrow. Now that's clever.
So clever that I pissed myself again!
I think you just like pissing your pants.
We all have our hobbies.
Just like every previous channel that supported multiple Mii registrations, 6 of them were allowed with the Today and Tomorrow channel. Each individual Mii would have their daily luck, the level of fortune they have in 5 different categories, as well as their lucky color, which their shirt will change to once revealed. Any number and combination of your 6 registered Miis could be entered into a compatibility test, which would give you a rating and tell you the next day this specific combination would be the most compatible, according to astrology, I guess. On top of the test, the channel also featured 3 different sets of hints that you could receive each day. These would be delivered as 3 separate words or phrases that were meant to be interpreted by the user. These can also be performed with any number and combination of Miis and are as follows. Food hints give hints on what you should eat, fun hints give hints on what you should do for fun, and care hints give hints on how you can take care of yourself and others. Let's try a fun hint between Madeline and I. Anime, TV, view. These might be a little too vague for me. Now I know most of you are probably nostalgic for the Mii channel or the Shop channel, but a huge chunk of my younger years were spent on the USB flash optimization channel, baby. This is the stuff right here.
Right in the childhood.
Otherwise known as the Memory Repair Program, this channel only exists in Japanese, so I couldn't read it if you had a butter knife to my throat. But according to English sources, as well as an online translator that I cannot confirm the accuracy of, this channel optimized a 16GB flash drive to be used with the installation and patches of the Japan-exclusive MMORPG Dragon Quest X. That's all it did as far as I know. Coming as possibly the most feature-heavy downloadable channel of them all, this Japan-exclusive channel, no surprise there, known as Wii Room in English and Wii no Ma in Japanese, featured video on demand, film rental, and even a huge shopping catalog by the end of its update cycle. The entire thing was a joint venture between Nintendo and Dentsu, a Japanese advertising company. This means that it's likely that many of the free videos available on the channel were either disguised advertisements or product placement. A number of large production companies in Japan supported this service and put their content on it, though keep in mind that the footage I'm showing is from the Wii Link revival of the channel and does not feature the same content that was shown in the original iteration. The main hub of Wii Room was a room, and featured however many Miis you had registered sitting on the floor around a table. Oddly enough, before the final major update to this channel, the room was considerably larger and even allows you to rotate the camera and see other parts of the area aside from the TV. I guess our Miis got laid off and had to downsize. In this room, you could observe your Mii performing various everyday activities such as vacuuming the carpet, eating lunch, or playing a DS, and the lighting and outside conditions of the room could change depending on the time of day and seasons of the year. Occasionally, other Miis would show up to visit and recommend a video to watch. Aside from that, this was where you began when you started up the channel, and you used the buttons on the screen to navigate to the other features it provided. First, we have Rooms. This screen would show a parade of Miis holding signs that contain the logos of various different products and services. Some rooms were themed around holidays, some around specific games, and others were just straight up sponsored content.
It's always Arby's.
Each room would contain videos related to whatever the room's theme was. For example, with the Wii Link revival of the channel, they created a room related to the most recent Nintendo Direct, which contained trailers for the games announced during that presentation. Next we have Shows, which were accessed by clicking on the TV in the main room. This section featured videos aimed at the whole family, with a huge selection that could be filtered by genre, age, ratings, gender, or even blood type? What? A Mii named Osusume could guide users to videos they may enjoy, and after watching any given video, you could rate it for other users in your room with what is honestly a bit of a confusing ranking system for someone who lives in the West. But this symbolism is very common in East Asia as a way of representing more than the binary yes or no when answering questions. The first major update to Wii Room came in November of 2009, which added the theater room. This area resembled a large home theater and featured your Mii sitting in front of the screen enjoying a meal. You could even change the color of the lights to shift the mood. In this room, you could rent movies and TV shows with Wii points. Some of the content on offer included Sesame Street, the Kirby anime, same as the Kirby TV channel, and even the Pokemon anime. The final feature added to Wii Room was shopping, and came as an update in late 2010. This was also the update that changed the main hub. The shopping section included exclusive commodities only available via Wii Room, such as Mii stamps, but also included more than 10,000 items ranging from food, daily items, fashion items, and furniture. Unlike the theater, the user didn't have to purchase items with Wii points. They were free to use a credit card, pay over the phone, pay cash on delivery, or even pay through a convenience store, though I couldn't find any information on how that one actually worked. It's clear that this channel's main purpose was to create revenue. There were even posters in the main and theater rooms that cycled advertisements, but it still had that Wii charm and was a great effort at bridging the gap between game console demographics and the general public, once again. Nintendo was really trying to check every box when it came to putting the most common functions of a consumer device on the Wii, and the Wii Speak channel was no exception. This channel utilized the very rarely used Wii Speak accessory that was most commonly used with Animal Crossing City Folk, as it came in a bundle with that game. As you may have guessed, this enabled voice chat in a very small list of 13 games that supported it. Among these games, surprisingly, was Uno.
Oh, eat shit, asshole!
Alongside the accessory, you would receive a download ticket for the channel. If you somehow lost this ticket, apparently you could email Nintendo to receive a new one. They probably didn't verify your purchase either, so you could technically get this channel without even buying the accessory. Not that it would do anything.
Here's to what could have been.
The actual channel allowed you to voice chat with Wii friends who also had the accessory, because if they didn't have it, or if you didn't have any friends, well, you wouldn't be hearing anything.
Come on, guys. Joke's over. I know you're there.
Each speaker in a room was represented by a floating head of their Mii, and their mouth would move while speaking. They call it lip syncing, but that term's probably a bit too generous for my tastes. There were also voice warping features similar to the sound applications on the DSi and 3DS, and you were also able to send drawings or show pictures to other users in the room. In addition to that, the accessory allowed you to leave messages on the Wii message board for other users of the system to listen to at a later date. Overall, the channel was really cool and surprisingly fleshed out. Too bad I didn't have anyone to use it with.
Guys?
I had a really hard time finding information about the elusive Wii U main unit update repair program, but what I do know is that it exists. Its only intended purpose was to fix an error with the Wii U that prevented system updates and the availability of the eShop, but some users reported losing the ability to connect to the internet altogether. I have no idea why a Wii channel was deployed to fix an issue with the Wii U, but I'm sure there was some sort of explanation for that. It was mentioned that attempting to play Dragon Quest X, the Wii game I mentioned earlier that required the flash optimization channel, may trigger the error, so that could explain why a channel was used. Regardless, a system update to the Wii U in April of 2013 prevented this error from ever occurring again, making the channel entirely obsolete. The Wii System Transfer Channel and Wii U Transfer Channel are technically two separate channels, but since one is required to use the other and vice versa, I'm counting them as one. As you may have guessed, these channels helped carry out the transfer of data from a Wii system to a Wii U system, with Wii System Transfer being on the Wii U and Wii U Transfer Tool being on the Wii. I've said Wii so many times at this point that I think I hate the word. You can do this with it though. I guess that's pretty funny. Wiener? I hardly know her. Because there was so much data being transferred, this obviously couldn't be done wirelessly, especially back then. So instead, all data was transferred to an SD card that would be taken out of the Wii and inserted into the Wii U. After the transfer, the Wii would essentially be factory reset. The coolest part about this channel though, and mostly what it's known for, has to be the animation that plays during the transfer process, where you can observe an army of Pikmin picking up data from one console and physically moving it to the other, concluding in a blast-off into the world of Wii U. And that's the last one. A bit of an anticlimactic ending, but at the same time, kind of fitting. While some of these channels were even less interesting than the Windows Notepad, and others' mere existence didn't really make much sense, the Wii's channels still have a surprisingly rich history and diverse range of uses. With that said though, I might as well get back into my TV. Life's way better in there anyway. CRT. I bet that stands for a cool rad time.
Hey man, what's up?
Oh shit! You got your own channel too?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, dude. Just signed the contract with Nintendo a few hours ago.
So what's this channel about?
It's kind of my own spin on the photo channel. Here, let me open it up for you.
You said that shirt looked good on me, you fucking liar!